What's up, everybody? This is Jordan Kurtz with comments for the Peanut Gallery podcast, as well as the MMA plug powered by DenverSportsBetting.com and MileHighSports.com. I'm here with a special guest today, my man, Joseph Ironheart Garcia. How you doing, brother?
Doing great. How about you, man?
I'm doing good, man.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day out here. It's a Saturday. There's fights tonight. You've got a fight coming up. It can't get better than this, can it?
No.
I mean, especially all things considered. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a wild world that we're living in right now. But get a chance to chat some fights and talk shop. It's really not all too bad.
I love it.
Real quick there, my brother, where can people follow you on social media?
So on my Instagram, it's Joseph J. Garcia. And I do have a Facebook page as well, which is Joseph Garcia MMA. That's where you can follow me.
Any Twitter, anything like that in the mix?
Yeah, same, Joseph J. Garcia.
Same thing? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Probably said that, just went white noise through me right there.
Super easy, yeah.
Now, you've got a big fight coming up. You're fighting for a title. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a very exciting opportunity. It's been a long time coming. I've always visualized myself being a champion anyways. Just never had get the chance to, but like now I get the platform to, display my abilities.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, it's going to be a good test for you too. Darren Robinson is no slouch. We've seen him fight one of our teammates here at Factory X before, but man, you're a grinder. Like just seeing the way that you work in your rounds through the last few weeks, like you could see like, oh man, like this dude has a dog in him.
Yeah, I'll probably say it's just my way of growing up. I like guys I like to watch, like Roberto Duran. I like Lomachenko. I just love how they just keep putting the pressure on. They say great defense is a amazing offense.
Yeah.
So that's just all I know is going forward. But coming here, Factory X, it's nice to have masterminds like Mark Montoya to put me in good situations. So I know so that I'm making good decisions in the cage.
Absolutely. Talk to us about what led you to that decision. This is going to be your debut with Factory X. What led to the decision to come here?
Well, first off, Mark's he's a mastermind. I mean, he sees things no one else does. It was a process. I didn't just get on the team. I had to earn my stripes. I had to go to open classes, and then eventually reached out to him. We had a sit down talk, and we want to see if we were good fit for each other. And after that first week, had me trying out, and I was hooked, and I loved it here. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, and everyone's been open arms, taking me in, and it's been a great fit. I'd probably say it's the best decision I've ever made.
That's awesome to hear.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say if you had to, without pulling the curtain back too much, where has some of the most of your growth came in your short time since you've been here at Factory X?
Just my fight IQ. Just like seeing in between the lines when it comes to standing up or transitioning from the striking to the grappling. Usually, I'll be like, stuck on my wrestling or stuck on striking. But like now they're able to really, mix it well.
Definitely. You've got, like we mentioned, a very, very strong style in terms of your forward pressure with that. How important is, like you say, coming to a mastermind like Mark who can figure out how to put those pieces together to really kind of blend your strengths to maximize the efficiency?
I'll probably say it helps close the gaps. There's a lot of fillers that that I could be missing. There's other opportunities that I could have finished the fight. Whether standing up or even on the ground too. Even my ground game's even evolved a lot. Having Professor Busy and Scott Miller helping me out on that part, and I mean every time I come in, to open class, if you don't go, then I'm missing the opportunity for more knowledge, and I'm just want to soak in everything I can get in.
Definitely. So I gotta ask you this. Let's reel things back for a second. What got you into MMA?
What got me? Well, starting off, when I was 5 or 6, I saw my sister was she did taekwondo, and so I'm like that looks cool. They're breaking boards. I thought it was tight, and so I want to get on that. And then I was just sports oriented growing up. I liked football. I liked basketball. I liked baseball. Anything, all sports. But then I got into wrestling. My dad took me he said, hey, there's a wrestling club. You want to check it out over in Green Mountain? I said, all right. I know nothing about it. And then at first, I'm wrestling. And then by the time I get to high school, that's when I find out, hear about like MMA. So I went to before all I went to a gym called Rhino Sports Gallery, and that was Joe Warren's old gym. And I'm seeing all these UFC and these world class athletes. They're just regular guys like you and I. I'm like, wow, like these guys are so cool. They're doing all this other stuff. I'm like, this is something I want to do. And then the first fight I went to, it was John Jones versus Rampage, UFC 135.
Okay.
Yeah, watched it from the nosebleeds, and I thought it was the coolest thing. Yeah, and so I knew that's where I wanted to be.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that right then and there kind of answered my follow-up question was always, there's a lot of people who have their MMA moment, if you will, that moment where it just kind of sucked you into the sport and you were hooked. Would you say that was it?
Oh, yeah.
Getting to see that live?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Seeing how, even though Rampage didn't win the fight, he walked out, it got me hyped. It's even, it's changed, the iconic, how, yeah, I'm just like.
The howling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, such a spectacle with Rampage.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, like, this is crazy. And then, seeing John Jones, I didn't think, knowing that he's going to be as good as he was now, I already knew he was great then.
Right.
I'm like, yeah. And then I also liked watching other guys like Diego Sanchez as well. I liked Frankie Edgar because he was a grappler, and I just, he's not always the tallest man, and I'm never always the tallest opponent, but I just love how he always, me and him are similar in styles too, I want to say.
I was going to say, I think the Diego comparison, early Diego is a good comparison as far as, stylistically between just constant forward pressure, just literally being a nightmare to your opponent in that way.
Yes.
If it's not pressure with the hands, then it's I'm putting a body on you and I'm making you carry my weight until I can find that takedown, and then I'm going to suffocate you on the canvas.
Exactly.
Is that a pretty fair assessment?
Yeah, he's fearless. Yes.
Yeah, that's just off of a couple of weeks of picking some stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a professional at this or anything like that, but yeah. But so anyway, this has the opportunity with your fight on the date that it is. It's it's outdoors. It's an open air situation, and it's the middle of September in Wyoming, which that can be either beautiful or that has the potential to be some potentially treacherous conditions as it comes to wind or anything like that, and even just atmospheric temperature. It could start to get a little bit colder at that point. How do you foresee that being a factor on fight night?
I love it. I love that. I love those moments. I mean, even like I said, being sports oriented, playing football, when it snowed, I love that. Playing football in the snow, just a different aura that brings that. I don't know, just I don't know, it doesn't matter. It could be raining or it just feels like a, I don't know.
The thought didn't actually cross my mind until you mentioned football with snow like that, but how in its own weird, bizarre way would it be just an insanely epic scene to see just a downpour of a snow blizzard and there's a cage fight going on?
That'd be a beautiful scene. Yeah.
Not the same, not the same in terms of your surface or any of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that, I'm sure, would be a spectacle that would definitely go viral.
Yes. the first snowing MMA fight in history, right? Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, and especially because I think that there's a couple of couple of first-time bouts on that card, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It was like a first-time 4-ounce Muay Thai.
Yeah.
I want to say. I know that just got approved. I don't know if it's actually on that card.
Yeah.
But they've been having some. They're putting on some letweight fights. They're doing a lot of
pushing boundaries. Yeah, making
with Sparta right now up there in Wyoming. They're really pushing the boundaries. The bare knuckle MMA that they've had a couple of bouts of so far. It's crazy, but also in a way, it's kind of creatively genius.
Yes.
I feel like, because we're in a time right now where there's a lot of uncertainty, and is this a way for Sparta Sports and Entertainment to maybe create a little bit of a unique lane for themselves with having the bare knuckle MMA being one of the first or very few promotions worldwide, for that matter, that do 4-ounce Muay Thai fights? Is that something that maybe elevates them to another level? I think time will tell, but the unique aspect alone is interesting. What do you feel about that?
I mean, sometimes you never know at the time because it seems very, it's outside the box. Like even like MMA at the time, people thought like, what are they doing? Like it's kind of like kind of like it was like not the norm. Even same when it comes to like music, like rap, like when rap first came out, like people were they're saying like such explicit lyrics, they're like what, like, and then now it's like a normal thing, but like who knows, maybe years from now everyone in the world will start doing 4-ounce gloves MMA or bare knuckle everywhere else. Who knows?
And I think to what you said there, the desensitization aspect, I think that is something that's real when it comes to this, just because if we look at the example from just bare knuckle boxing alone, I remember back in late 2017, 2018, when that was starting to be a thing and those cards were starting to happen. Wyoming again was one of the first ones to allow it. That was thought of as, oh wow, man, like that, like are we setting ourselves back in combat sports? It's a little bit barbaric in a way with all the cut potential and everything. But as it's gone on, I think it's just became a part of the norm within the sport.
Yes.
It's a different art completely, because you got to learn how to figure out how to hit to try to not break your hands. You can't, a guy like a Francis would obviously still be successful, but if you threw punches the way that he did, like they did a super slow-mo reel on social media of his fight against Rosenstrike.
Yes.
And in that flurry, Joseph, he landed maybe like 3 out of 15.
Oh my God.
Like when they look at it in slow motion, you can actually see frame by frame what he connected with. But that's how explosive and dangerous he is. He just kind of took that street fight approach that I'm just throwing a windmill of shots at you because you called me out, and I'm not backing up. But if you throw that with just bare hands, probably a good chance that you might end up with a fracture.
Yes.
So it's bringing a completely different element to the sport. Would you agree?
I agree.
To combat sports as a whole.
Yes.
So I gotta ask you, what has been in terms of your background growing up? You mentioned that you wrestled. Did you do any boxing at all?
So I grew up. So my dad, he boxed, and so I kind of was around it, but I didn't really start doing as much until after high school. Probably say like my first year in college, I started picking up more on the hands. But starting like actually like full time, I want to say it's been about since 2017.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I just asked that because Roberto Duran obviously isn't a name that most common people would necessarily say is one of their big or major influences, unless you have some sort of background in boxing.
Yeah. I liked watching him. I liked watching like the rivalry. I love rivalries when it comes to that, like him and Sugar Ray Leonard, and even like Marvin Hagler. Those are some great fighters, but different times. And I just like the old school mentality. Like they just different times, but they were savage.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Have you seen the movie? Handstone?
Oh yeah. You can't tell you how many times I've seen that movie. Actually. Yeah.
Great movie though.
Yeah.
I mean, phenomenally displayed in my opinion. I mean, that was a fight movie.
Yes.
One that hasn't really gotten a lot of love through time. I think it came out very real close in time to Southpaw, which I think that the Jake Gyllenhaal movie, just because of his Hollywood star power, probably got a little bit more of the headline grabbing at that time. But if you're talking in terms of capturing the essence of what it is to be within those shoes, man, it's hard to say that Handstone was not one of the best boxing movies of our modern time. I will never pull the blasphemous card and put another movie over Rocky.
No.
Fight fans
definitely not. No.
Would come wanting to, string me up and cancel me for that one. No chance of putting something above Rocky.
I mean, my dad, he showed me that like when I was like 8 years old, 8 to 7. We're watching every single one.
I've got to know Rocky before bed.
Yeah.
And it's simply because I get too amped up from watching it and I can't go to sleep. So a lot of times people, you'll put a movie on, try to pass out to it.
Yeah.
Joseph, it can't be Rocky. It can't be any of the Rockies.
No.
I just get too amped up. Like, I stay up through the whole movie. Like, I don't fall asleep during the movie, which is problem number one.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sleep during that time. But then I'm amped up. Like, I'm ready to roll. The adrenaline is pumping. So I'm awake well after the movie, which is even worse.
Yes.
I'd have been better off not even watching it.
That's what I'm saying, that I can't watch exciting movies like that before going to bed, because then, I'm going to be up. It's kind of like drinking an energy drink. I'm having my coffee. It's giving me some, like, extra energy. I don't know. Yeah, but I like, even like, I would even watch Rocky even before my wrestling tournaments. Like, my favorite one was, Rocky 4, when he fought the Russian. I just saw something about, like, the training aspect of that, when he's training in the snow, he's fighting for Apollo. No spoiler alerts, but, yeah.
Fuck the spoiler alert. That shit came out first. If you don't know already by now, then...
Now you know.
It's too far gone in that regard. But as you said, though, man, that is one of the best training montages in any movie right there. Like, you could just watch that portion of that movie and be hyped. Like, you don't even have to see the rest of it.
No.
Especially at the end where he just starts yelling through the canyon, Drago! Just starts going ham that way. That's gold. I mean, that's timeless. That's what that is. In my opinion, at least.
I thought what was pivotal was when the whole Russian crowd started shifting towards Rocky because of how, how he would just keep going for, staying on him, like just beating him down. Like, they looked at Ivan Drago like he was a god, like no one could touch this man, and they're like, whoa, this guy is a different beast.
Just got that iron will.
Yes.
That Italian stallion.
Yes.
Yep. So I gotta ask you, man. We've covered a lot of things so far in the lead up to your fight. What is something that you might want to get out there that we haven't covered yet? If there's something that you want to tell to your friends, family, teammates, sponsors, anybody out there that we might not have said yet.
Can you elaborate?
Is there just any message that you want to tell to anybody out there, want to share with anyone? Just anything. It could be anything.
Okay.
Thank yous, whatever.
Okay, yeah, of course. I like to thank my day ones that have been there with me through the ups and downs. There's, not every, fighter's journey is, perfect. And so I appreciate the ones that have sticking by me and believe me from the beginning. And same goes for my family. I'd probably say they're the biggest part of my motivation, because I just see, I see how hard of a worker my dad is, and my mom, like how she looks out for her own. And so I want the ability for that, for fighting, to take me to a place where I can take care of my friends and family, and everyone that's been there.
Definitely, man. So I gotta ask you this, just since you mentioned, having that close-knit circle and wanting to be able to help carry and provide for everybody. 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
5 years from now, at least with a belt, and who knows? I like,
just taking it from there.
Yeah, just take it from there.
Okay.
Yeah, just stay tuned for the Joe Show.
Stay tuned for the Joe Show. I like the sound of that, man. Is there any sponsors or anybody out there, management, anything that you want to shout out?
I like to shout out Lando for helping me get ready for this fight. They've been very big. They've been very crucial. I'd like to thank you for having me. Tell about my story, and I'd like to thank my friends and family.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
So that is something that you just started doing once you came to Factory X with Landau Performance, right?
Yes.
So that's a good talking point. How do you feel that being a part of what it is to be a part of Factory X, it's not optional. It's something that's a requirement as per Coach Mark to be a part of this fight team. Is you have to go get this strength and conditioning work in. What has it been for your game to have gone and committed to that sort of schedule with the folks at Landau Performance and getting the benefit out of that? How has that felt?
I mean, I understand why Coach Mark has want to put us through that, because I mean, everyone there, coaches, everyone, they help you throughout every workout. They're they're in a way they're black belts in their profession. They know that sometimes they know they know the athletes better than the athletes know themselves. They're really paying attention, and that means a lot. They're saying like, all right, we're gonna work. They know when to really push it, and then lay off, rear back the rope a bit, because every fighter they'll go 1,000 miles per hour without even thinking. That's just their mentality, but they exactly. But they know where they need to push us so we can make strides.
Which I think that's huge in the information era where we do have all of the means to research that analytical data. I mean, from the whoops that a lot of guys are wearing now to the Polaris, the heartbeat monitors, all the different things, along with just being so highly skilled within their content area. I mean, shout out to Coach Augie, Wrigley, Justin, Eric Telly, Coach Lauren Landau himself, everybody who's been so great to me through all the time over at Landau Performance, because they really are truly a world-class facility and are the best of the best at what they do.
Yes.
Definitely.
It's the standard.
100%. So real quick on the way out, will you hit it with your social media handles one more time?
Joseph J. Garcia. Everything.
Joseph J. Garcia on everything. This is Jordan Kurtz with the comments from the Peanut Gallery, as well as the MMA Plug powered by DenverSportsBetting.com and MileHighSports.com. My man Joseph, he has a fight coming up in a couple of weeks. Be sure to tune in for his 160-pound amateur title fight. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Absolutely. Thank you.